What do you think all humans have in common?
So I think all humans have a sense of purpose in life, and that is a very wide range of things, right? The thing that kind of keeps us motivated waking up every morning, something bigger than us, the thing that drives us really. Um, and it's been studied over the last like 60 years or so from even oh, hi Clarice. From even a psychologist, a Viennese psychologist named Viktor Frankl. He was in the concentration camps, Nazi concentration camps back during World War II. And
Man's
he
Search
was,
for Meaning, great book.
yes. And he was, come on. And, he saw that prisoners who showed a greater sense of purpose were able to overcome starvation and slave labor and things like that. Hi, baby girl, come here. And so it's this idea, this explanation that Friedrich Nietzsche said was those who have a why in life can bear almost any how. And I think this is true. I mean, it doesn't matter what background you have. I mean, if you're from a lower socioeconomic class, a lot of times they say adversity and hardships can sometimes lead to a sense of purpose. And when they studied that in Black American youth, it was a way of protection from them from negative experiences in their environment. And then there's correlations to the sense of purpose to, health. So, less stress and anxiety, and not being diagnosed with certain diseases. And they're still studying on whether there's a correlation, but understanding if it's that the sense of purpose is driving these health benefits, or if the benefits are allowing them space to have that sense of purpose.
It's not determined yet on that?
I think
or-
there's both. There's sides
Yeah.
to both. It's not like there's no for sure answer, but it's seen in both ways. It's happened in both ways. But I think we talked about ikigai before in the last, and I feel like that idea of purpose, for yourself from an individual level is important, right? For all of us. I mean, again, it could be anything from, somehow changing the world or leaving some sort of positive cultural footprint to just making the most of every day and loving the ones around you. Again, it doesn't have to be nothing's too big or too small. Where was I going with this?
Do you think most people have a sense of purpose? Or do you think
I don't
many
think
people
everyone.
are still finding
it's like
it?
saying, does everyone have empathy? No. I mean, it's the same sort of thing. I think they may not necessarily be aware of a sense of purpose. They may just be doing things and say like, I just need to eat to survive or whatever. But I think my optimistic sense of self says that hopefully there is some sort of purpose, whether it's a sense of meaning, like a search for meaning. You may not have a complete sense of your purpose, but you have the curiosity or the desire to go somewhere. I mean, for those who are waking up every day, like what motivates you? Like everyone has some sort of motivation. Like again, it could be something super, super small and direct to something larger and more visionary. But I would like to think everyone has a sense of purpose, whatever that could be for them, because it could be something completely different for every individual. But I think that what is so beautiful about the idea of purpose is once you understand your individual purpose, there's this idea that that purpose then somehow aligns with the collective or greater good.
Yeah.
And we see this a lot more in a collectivist culture. Like say they did studies in Korea where for the Korean youth, they saw the idea of a sense of purpose for themselves as not an individual thing, but more of a collective thing. And then in China, it's more of 3 different buckets of purpose for them. It's social, it's social, it's professional, and And so, I think every culture kind of also defines that a little bit differently. And so individually, you have something different too. Of course, she waits to the end to want to. She heard me talking about her, and so she's just.
So would you say that like the common idea with humans is that we want this sense of purpose and belonging, and believe that our own individual efforts can lead to something greater for all?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, and even because the purpose at the end of the day, individually, is around the ego, and everyone has that.
Mm-hmm.
And ego, I believe, is a root of all evil. I mean, it can be good too, but it is a root of all evil. If you think about any sort of terribleness that goes on in the world, is the protection of it, or the righteousness of your ego, and all these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything you can say about the ego, it can turn in different ways. So the idea of purpose is channeling that ego in different ways. So whether your purpose is to, like, as I watch in Forensic Files, take revenge on people, then that's one thing, right?
Yeah.
But your ego could also be then flowed into something that makes your tribe better, or your whole or your community better.
Yeah.
And that flows that ego into more of like a collective ego. So yeah, I think everyone has that, and it just depends. So